Hello, everybody, and welcome to Trusty's Vintage Live Sale for Thursday. What day is it? June 17th. It's always Thursday, but June 17th. So we've got another live sale coming to you. Same bat time, same bat channel. I know I threw some people off because last night I was on the Katie's channel at Vintage and Vinyl and doing a sale with her. That was kind of a bonus sale, but I was still always planning to do my regular sale tonight. But because of promotion, promoting different things, I was promoting stuff for her sale and not promoting for stuff for my sale. So people thought it was canceled. And speak of the devil, Katie is going to be joining us this evening. And here she is. So,
guys.
Hey, Katie. Thanks for signing on. So Katie's going to be the moderator tonight. She's going to be my voice from above. Help keep me on task, make sure I'm paying attention to the chat, answering questions as they come up. And she will start out being the moderator for the sale. And then Nate will be joining us. Nate likes to be the moderator. He's a little possessive. So we will let him be moderator once he's able to join us. And as his penance for wanting to be the moderator, I have a special listing available tonight where I will actually have 45 versions of what I'm offering. So the first 45 people will be able to claim it, and Nate is going to have to keep track of those 45. So it's going to be maxi pads all over again. So we're just going to have a fun-filled night, and we'll see. We may do it a little on early side so that Nate doesn't get tired, and I don't drop it on him at the end of the evening. So something to look forward to, everybody. But thanks for joining me, Katie. Thank you again for letting me be on your channel last night.
Oh, it was so much fun.
Hopefully, I think some of the names I'm seeing coming across, some of them had joined us in the chat in the sale last night as well. So for anyone who did join Katie's sale, if you purchased anything from me last night and then you also purchased something from me tonight, I will combine those, obviously, and I will ship those together. So I will get the invoices out hopefully by Saturday night is always my goal, but I will do them for both sales. And so, you kind of get a little bonus if you bought last night and tonight, you get to combine shipping, which you don't always get to do. So thanks for the people that are joining. Kylie is already coming in. So we've got our first Badger. We've got our first Terp. We got Vinny coming in from Maryland. We've got Illini. Got Illinois coming in with Brian. Huck is very happily resting on the half wall. I never think to haul him over here. So he's staring at me. I can see Huck like off in the distance, but he is not actually here. Halem is joining us from the Keystone State. So thanks for joining us, Halem, which means Melody must be around somewhere as well. No worries. We just jumped. No worries, Gina. It was a nice little bonus. It was a lot of fun. And Katie's super efficient. She kept us on task and we flew through our items.
It was a fast sale.
It was like what, like an hour and 10 minutes or something like that. We're like, wait, we're done. So, but that's fine. There's so many things going on. I'm sure there are other things happening even in the vintage community. People have lives. Hopefully most of us are living in areas that are starting to kind of reopen, to some levels. So people may just want to enjoy the summer. We've as typical in Chicago, we've just skyrocketed past anything that would be considered spring. And we are right into not quite Florida level uncomfort zones, but 80s and 90s with the 80-90% humidity. It's air conditioning is your friend when you live in Florida or in Chicago. What kind of weather do you have today or what are you looking at in Florida this week?
It is 99 degrees today. Oh. It has been raining, so it is high humidity. So it is the day not to be outside because it feels like you can't breathe. So air conditioning, yes, is your friend in Florida. And tomorrow, I think it's supposed to be 98. So 90s for the rest of the week. Very exciting.
And you're kind of like more northern, not necessarily northern Florida, but more north than Boca Raton. So we've got Janet joining us from Boca Raton. So you're probably just baking as you get farther and farther south into the state.
4 hours, I think, from Boca Raton.
Oh, okay. Kitschy Corner. Well, thanks for joining in for the first time. I thank you for finding Trusty Huckster Mercantile. Katie, who is moderating it, is also running sales. We were talking about. She joins other people's sales. She hosted a sale last night. So Katie is Vintage and Vinyl. So you can find her. And I don't always remind people to do it, but for the people that are joining in the chat, Anybody that offers their own sales, I have no problem if you want to mention what nights you are. If you're not a moderator, you can't drop the link, but just tell people, what your channel is and they can help look for you. And I can only imagine how hot it is in Georgia as well.
Oh, Georgia's really getting some hot weather today.
So we've got 77 degrees in Connecticut. So that's not bad. And, I don't know if all of Connecticut gets the little breezes, from the water. So I always found it interesting that all the rich people went from New York City to Newport. And I'm kind of like, that's only, 100 miles. Like, it's barely a difference. But I guess with the water and the breezes and all that, it makes a little bit of a difference. So 77 in Connecticut, that's not too bad.
No, that's nice.
In the winter, I feel like I want to move south. And in the summer, I feel like I want to move to Canada. So,
Yep.
100 degrees in Redwood City, California. Just no. I just no. Also being in quarantine for so long, I've not been dressed up to go visit customers and things like that. So I had to visit a customer last week, and I had to put my suit back on. Well, first of all, it barely fit. And second, I was so uncomfortable. Like, my air conditioner in my car was just maxed the entire time I was driving up there. And the walk from the car to into the building, I thought I was going to pass out. Like, okay, I am not used to this. Can I just visit them in my my pink flamingo shirts and my shorts?
Yeah, 50 and 60 degrees to me is the perfect weather. And I wish I could go somewhere that had that all year round.
So Casey's joining us for the first time. I saw an email, and I did reply to the email, but only like 5 minutes ago. So I apologize if you didn't see that. So I will go ahead and kind of go that. There are a couple names that are popping in here that are new. Creative Madness. I think you were another new one. Pretty much, if you're familiar with other YouTube channels, they're all going to work very similarly. The biggest difference of mine individually, and this also falls for when Katie does sales, we just don't do auctions. So we keep things simple. So what will end up happening is I will show you an item. I will give you the price. The price I give you is the price you will pay. And then I will give you an item number. What you will need to do is you will need to type that number into the chat. And since you are typing into this chat, you've already found the chat. So you've survived the first challenge. You are not in the comment section, because that's what happens to a lot of newbies. So you already found the chat. All you need to do is type in the number that we announce. If you're the first person that Katie sees in her chat, not yours, her chat, because yours can be a little bit different. First person she sees, the person who claims it. It's as simple as that. And so what'll end up happening, the prices I give you are not going to include shipping. So you just need to, anyone who purchases from me or this goes for all the sellers. If you've not purchased from us before, or sometimes it's just courtesy to send an email anyway, send an email with your shipping address, maybe connect your real name to your YouTube name for those of you who have gotten creative, because I love your creativity, but there's been more than once I'm flinging things against the wall going, who the heck is this? And I have to try and match things. It's like a little game. That I don't always enjoy playing, but regardless, particularly when everyone changes their names, that's super fun. But anyway, just send us an email with your shipping information. We will send you, in this case, I will send you an invoice. Once you pay the invoice, I will ship you your item. It's very straightforward. So that is pretty much the way most of them work. Some people do auctions and offer ups. Those work a little bit differently, because then there is the feeling that more people can participate, and maybe it'll go for more of what the market price would be. Everyone has a slightly different approach. In my opinion, I've always said we're here to have fun. I'm not selling the Mona Lisa. So if you wanted something and you don't get it, I'm sorry, but be here for the spirit of the fun. We're all here to have fun. So let's say hi to a few more people that have popped in. So Sue's come in here. Debbie knows what I'm talking about. Brian knows what I'm talking about. We know what Chicago has been offering lately. Let's see, I need to move up to TFA. Like, I need to move up to Canada, where it's probably nice and cool. And then the minute the first snow starts to fly, I'm beelining it south, because I also hate the winter. Like, I need to find that moderate climate, and it can't be California, because I do not want to fall off into the ocean. Like, that's like, I would much rather risk a tornado heading at me than an earthquake. We all have our preferences. The subdivision I grew up in, this is no exaggeration, no hyperbole. The subdivision I grew up in was hit by 3 separate tornadoes in the 20 years that I lived there. The subdivision, not the town, the subdivision, and one house was totaled on 2 of those 3 occasions. Absolutely wiped out. And we're like, okay, there's somebody's trying to tell you not to live here. But so I do prefer tornadoes. I lived through one hurricane, did not like it. I even only had a tropical storm. That was when we lived in Maryland. And it was the first time in like 100 years that a tropical storm hurricane moved up the Chesapeake. And we had literally just moved into the house a month earlier. So we lost all the shingles from our house. We could just sit there and listen. It wasn't bad enough that they had to evacuate, but you just sat in your house and you listened to the wind, just like a tornado, but a tornado that lasts 4 hours. And you just could feel, you could hear the things ripping off your roof. You could hear the trees falling. You got the leaks that then formed as the shingles fell off your roof. You saw your house started leaking. Fun stuff. But I take all of that over an earthquake.
My elderly neighbor is from California, and she woke up at like 4 a.m. several times in the 12-span year that she lived there to pretty severe earthquakes. And she would get in the door jam, and that's all she could do. And she's like, you don't know if you're going to be dead or alive in a few minutes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, at least with hurricanes, I know they're coming. So I can decide, okay, it's a Cat 4. Yep, we're leaving, pack up Louie, pack up our family treasures, and out the door we go.
And for the people that live in California, it's one of those trade-offs. The people that live in California, you do get the beautiful weather. You do get the moderate climate. You don't go surfing in Lake Michigan, so there's some lovely things you get when you're in California. So it's all about a trade-off. That's just a trade I'm not willing to make. So yes, Jan, eeks. That is, so let's see. So Sharon, had heavy heat, but good. Oh, okay. So you got beautiful the last few days. Yes, Jan, we did, so I'm assuming this was the question for the, tornadoes. So the two previous one, the first, like when I was littler, the two earlier ones were, tornadoes they are just like a hurricane. They are rated. I don't remember what their F ratings were. So they're big enough, but they weren't massive. The one that was the massive one, it did make the news. It's the one that wiped out the high school. It wiped out the church. It wiped out the, mall. It wiped out, like, only 23 people died. But it also, the reason only 23 people died is I grew up in a very rural community. Actually grew up in the same town that Melissa McCarthy grew up in.
Oh, wow.
But when the tornado went through, it primarily went through farmland. And so we kind of like got lucky in that it did wipe out our entire subdivision. My parents' house we lost part of the roof, but we were still okay. They stayed in the house while it was being repaired. But anyway, after the tornado passed through, so there was all these, all this farmland that was destroyed. The farmers decided to sell their land because there was glass and wood fragments, like everything throughout this. It would have been difficult to do any proper farming. So they sold it all to developers. Like 90% of the homes that got built on those were not low income, but like low price point homes. None of them had basements. They're like, do you read the newspaper? Like, how are you buying homes in a community that was just wiped out by a tornado? And then as I went into my adult life, I actually bought a home when I lived in Maryland, the one that was then attacked by the hurricane. I bought the year after a tornado had wiped out that town. And so no one wanted to live there. And I'm like, yeah, been there, done that. I'll take the discounted price for the house that no one wants to live in. So yeah, you make lemonade out of lemons sometimes.
And yes, I did basements here. I really do, because they're so cozy.
Well, I know like some parts of the country, like I guess Louisiana, there's some places you really can't even have basements. Like the minute you tap a couple inches, you're flooding. Or like sand or like really weird stuff. So it's like, sometimes I realize you can't get away from it. But yeah, here in the Midwest, you're gonna want a basement. Like I would always want to feel comfortable. I do not have a basement now. I will actually say that, as for all of that talk, I do not have a basement now. So if I get wiped out in my townhouse, I'll be the one huddling around under my toilet, trying to survive a tornado. But so we're all complaining about our weather. So nothing happens in Maryland. Safe to say. Okay, now. Maybe northern Maryland, but I lived in Maryland, and that was La Plata, Maryland was wiped out by a tornado. The entire downtown was wiped out by a tornado. and no one wanted to live there. But it was the best thing that happened to La Plata, other than probably people died, because it did wipe out the downtown. So they really, it was one of those towns that kind of grew up over time. So there was like a Coca-Cola bottling facility like right next to downtown. So trucks are trying to back in. So they moved all the industrial stuff like out to the edges and then kind of recreated an actual like walkable downtown. It was actually really nice. They were turning into a really nice area. So you do the best. Oh, Barb must be here. So Barb's winking out. I don't see where she came in. But hello, Barb.
Hi,
She's
Barb.
another Illinois. She's another one. Like she's probably huddling in the basement as tornadoes come through, because Southern Illinois definitely gets their fair share. Let's see, it was my step grandfather's brother and sister-in-law were killed in the tornado that went through Nashville, Illinois, not Nashville, Tennessee, Nashville, Illinois, and that was probably about 10 years ago. And Barb probably knows that one because that's not too far away from her. But yeah, they had a bird farm and wiped out the entire farm with that tornado. So, let's just get off of that topic. And so let's see, Christina's here. Don't think I said hi to her.
Hi,
Judy.
Christina.
Wait, what?
Holy moly.
Okay.
Oh, no.
That's nuts. All right. I know that there is a New Madrid fault line is in Missouri. And so like the last one was like in the 19th century and it was pretty major and people felt it in Chicago. But it's one of those, like, it's not that active. So I guess, we can't avoid everything. So anyway, I'm sure I've missed tons of people. Nate will be joining us. So for now, so for now it is, you're stuck with Katie, but I'm thrilled to have her. She concedes her absolute, she defers to Nate as his great ability of being able to like monitor like 18 things at one time. We both try to do it for other sales and it is way harder than you would think. And Nate has gotten it down to a science. So and Nate is very fast. And so if you missed the very beginning, I do have an item that I'll be selling tonight. I'm waiting till Nate joins. It'll be available to the first 45 people that want it. So it's not going to quite be the maxi pads, but it's going to give Nate something to keep him on his toes. And I got to be careful that he doesn't like quit on me.
Yeah, I'm letting Nate handle that one.
Yeah, so we will balance it all out.
I cannot be bribed, even though I know the mystery box number.
Yep, and that'll be a good segue. So I apologize to anyone that I missed. We were getting chatty, didn't say hi to everyone, but we're already a quarter after, and I do want to make things start going. So I will start out first. I will start out with a reminder. We're going to put Katie into the ether, so we will still have her voice, but want to show. Although I mentioned, as I was explaining to Casey, how the live sales work. Janet, I do not believe Katie requires a registration. Katie, do you require registration for your sales?
I do not. I just appreciate when people do buy something that they do send me an email so I can get their information and get the items out to them pretty quickly.
Yeah, the one benefit of not doing the auctions is we tend not to have as much of an issue with fantasy people. I mean, we have definitely had people ghost me that they buy something and then they were fake accounts or whatever. But the deep dark secret is if you buy something and I don't know who you are, I'm also paying attention to or Nate or Katie are also paying attention to the second person that wanted it, or even sometimes the third person that wanted it. So if you disappear on me, I just offer it to the next person. So pre-registration is less of an issue. It's a big deal though for those that do auctions because you don't want someone artificially jumping up the price that has no intention of buying it. So that's where pre-registration comes in. But what I'm sitting here holding is I do not do auctions, as I just finished saying, but I do have an eBay channel. And so the eBay channel is actually the place that I push the items that I don't know what the market price should be, or it might be a price point that's going to be a little bit higher than would typically go for in a live sale. And this is the item that is for sale right now. So this, Katie just dropped the link to it in the chat. This item is up for sale in my eBay store. It will end in 43 minutes. It'll end at the top of the next hour. It does have bids on it, and it is currently bidding at $35. So it will sell for $35, which to be honest is less than I would have thought it would sold for. But it is a beautiful mayonnaise deco mayonnaise bowl. It is not signed, not marked. We couldn't find it anywhere, but it has a great peacock design with a great peacock blue, frosted blue on the outside, and then the blue comes through on the inside. And the underplate has a clear center, a golden ring around the center and around the outer, and you've got a beautiful, basically, right, I don't think you would be using this for salad dressing right now. So this would just be a beautiful bowl and underplate to use for whatever you would like it to be used for. And that will end in 40 minutes. At which time another item will go up, which is sitting over here. I'll talk about that at the top of the hour because that one hasn't gone live yet. So start things out. Katie mentioned the mystery boxes, and that is what I'm going to start with, is my first mystery box. So I've been doing this this way. So for those who are trying for the mystery box, if you don't want to sit through my whole sale, you'll miss the second mystery box I'll offer later. But hey, I recognize there's a lot of things going on, and people can't necessarily dedicate 2 hours of their evening to me. So I start with a mystery box. This is one item that will always show up in the mystery boxes, at least for the time being, until I run out. But this is one of the items that was part of the live sale that Nate had to deal with several months ago. I have many, many, many of these vintage maxi pads. So there will be a mix of vintage maxi pad in every mystery box. The way the mystery boxes work, I always price them out at $15. I give full credit to Fatbird Finds for coming up with this idea of offering mystery boxes as part of live sales. So the way I do them is somewhat along the same lines as the way they do them. Price point, relatively inexpensive. I try and keep the shipping around $10. So depending on where you're based, if you're farther away, you'll still get, $25 to $30 worth of stuff that's in there. Like if I were to sell it all individually, $25 to $30 worth of stuff, but you'll get lighter weight stuff if I'm sending it to California, or I've sent a couple to Indiana and California, Indiana and Ohio. California and Ohio are nothing like each other, but because they're so close, the shipping is so light. I've actually been able to send, I think the last one I sent to Ohio was 8 pounds. And it was still under $10. So she got some pretty big pieces that, or heavy pieces. They weren't necessarily big, but some heavier pieces that I hadn't shipped. So the way this works, though, a little bit different if you haven't been here before. They are $15. Normally, I would tell you the price and you'd have to type it in to be the first person. But because this ends up being one of the most popular items that I offer, thanks to Fatbird Finds, I will make you guess the number. So there's a little bit of a game that's tied into this one. And so what I will tell you is I will tell you the range. Katie knows the number. She cannot be bribed. So what will happen is I will keep this holding up because I've been accused of picking favorites, which has never been the case, but thank you for the accusation. So in order to accommodate that, I just try and keep the card shown so that there's no surprises. The number that I will tell you is going to be a range, and you can type in a number. If you're type in one number, hit enter, type in another number. You can guess as many times as you want. Just hit enter after each one. Don't give me a whole string of numbers. And the number falls in between 50 and 60. So between 50 and 60 is the number of the mystery box. The first person that types in the correct number and that Katie sees with that correct number will be the person that claims this mystery box. So I see the numbers are starting to come across.
I already see it right
out. I jumped, so I missed it. So I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. I'm seeing and I'm double checking, but I see Kim Z is the first number that I see with 56.
The number is 56. And Kim Z, and there she is. Kim Z has already won 2 of these. This is her third. She is liking the basically place settings of China that I'm sending her because I can send 8 pounds worth of stuff. So hopefully she's liked some of the things. And there's one that was supposed to go in the last box and it didn't go. So, hey, now you'll be able to get it. So number 56, Kim Z. Thank you so much, Kim, for picking up yet another mystery box. And apologize for those that missed out on it. But I do like the fact that people are trying to get them multiple times because it shows that people are having fun with them. You run the risk. I mean, I actually opened a mystery box that I bought at an antique mall one time, and I opened it on camera, and it was kind of fun. But then at the end of the day, it's kind of like, well, wait a minute, was this worth what I paid? And so I've always wanted to make sure there's more than what you paid for, but you hope it's then also fun too, because yeah, it may be worth it, but you may not want any of it. So thank you so much, Kim. I'm glad you're enjoying them, and congratulations for picking up another one. All right. Next item is going to go with something small. And this is last night on Katie's channel. And I want to say I might have had some stuff I think I've had some stuff in previous sales as well. Recently, I had the opportunity of picking up, basically I did an estate sale at a Wade collector. So there was a lot of Wade Whimsies. Those will be showing up in another sale that will give Nate heart palpitations, because I usually do those as grab bags too. But there was little Wade, dishes. I sold a really cool raccoon piece. This one is the hedgehog. Now, when I did the research on this, people were calling it a Wade Whimsy, but I've sold enough of the Wade Whimsies, so I will just say this is not what I'm used to seeing when I look at Wade Whimsies. And I don't know, Katie, what you've come across, but usually a Wade Whimsy, if it says Wade, it says it somewhere on the bottom. And it's also doesn't have quite as much detail done in the way they're made and in the way they're painted. So you've got kind of a tonal quality to his bristles, and then he's also got a different colored nose. But that base, to me, is not a Wade Whimsy base. Have you ever seen that kind of a base, Katie?
No, and I probably would have passed. I mean, he's so cute, but I probably would have not thought to pick him up because I wouldn't have figured that he was Wade. So I think that's really cool.
So I couldn't find another example of him or another example of this, but I found references to him that said that there is a Wade Whimsy hedgehog. So maybe there is a hedgehog that looks more like a traditional Wade Whimsy, and this is not. So I have no idea, but the only reference to Wade is actually on the bottom. I just thought he was adorable. I did pick up a lot of smalls from her. And what I like about these is they're very easy to ship. So this is why it's fun putting them into the live sales. So he is definitely Wade. I just can't say that he would have come from like the Rose Tea collection or anything. He might just be, this might just be something they created on their own. But it is an adorable little hedgehog. I don't know if his eyes might have been black at one point. Like the fact that they did his nose, I don't know why they wouldn't have done his eyes. So maybe they were cold painted and wore off. I don't know. But he does have a cute little black nose. And so the little Wade hedgehog is $7. So $7 for the little Wade hedgehog. And you can get this by giving number 76. 76 for $7, the little Wade hedgehog.
He's a little Huckster hedgehog.
He's a Huckster hedgehog. I think he's a cutie.
And Kim Z has the fast internet tonight because she's picking up Huckster hedgehog. Congratulations, Kim.
Thank you so much, Kim. And I'll tuck that right in. I'm thinking about coming up with ways of marking which items in the box are mystery buy items and which items are things to remind people of what they bought. Because I've watched some of my customers do like unboxing videos, and it's fun to watch unboxing videos. So anytime you buy something from any reseller, put it up on Instagram, show like where you're displaying it, show the unboxing. We all love seeing what everyone does with them. But I've watched people where they bought it from my sale and they're like, oh, this must be a mystery box item. I'm like, no, you bought it. It's what people forget. So it's great when, so I need to figure out, so I will tuck Huck the hedgehog, the little Huckster hedgehog. I'll tuck it into the box. Just remember, you bought that one and it's not part of your, it's not part of the mystery box. All right. Next item, this was an item that I picked up almost exclusively because, well, I probably would have picked it up anyway, but primarily because in a sale a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I did a sale of a little group of dollhouse sized food. And it was super popular, more popular than I would have had expected. To the point that the last time I sold the dollhouse food, I'm like, probably should have sold it for more. But I came across this and I felt that this was just another fun item to offer. So I'm going to include the little cookie cutter thing because it was all packaged together, which I thought was kind of cute. But what it is instead of the food, now we've got a way to prepare the food. So you've got a little pan, you've got a Dutch oven. Now, some of these have lids, but they're different sizes. So I think that lid is actually the lid that fits into this larger, or no, that's the pan. Maybe this larger pan, because there's a little lip for. You've got a flower pot, and you've got a slightly disproportional power bar. So probably a little bit more recent, but like it's the size of the Dutch oven. So, that's my kind of power bar, I guess. So it's big. So we've got that. There's a little, like a little coal scuttle is included in this, and a coffee, like an enamel, or no, I'm sorry, it's not a coffee pot. It is a watering, not a watering bucket. What do you call it?
Watering can.
Watering can. That I guess is for the flower pot. So all of that is in here along with this little heart-shaped tart. I said it was a cookie cutter, but I guess it's maybe more of a tart tin because there's no handle or anything on it. So was that be something for making tarts?
I think it's a little tart tin. Yes.
Yes. So I'm just including it. It has absolutely nothing to do with the rest of it. It was just kind of a cute way to display it and made me buy it. So I am offering the little food prep stuff, and you bet, Delbert, it's all about portion control. So you make your meal out of all of this, you'll be losing weight really quick. And all of that lot is $9. So $9 for all the cookware, all the little dollhouse stuff. $9 by giving me number 3. $9, number 3 for all of the little dollhouse pieces.
And you could put all of those in a printer's tray and have a little food themed printer's tray.
That's true. My favorite's the little Dutch oven. Like I think that's cute. So.
And Victoria H is picking up number 3. Congratulations.
All right, great. Thank you, Vicky, for picking that up. All right. Now, for anyone who's used to my channel, some point during the evening, I'm going to have a coaster. So I'm just getting it out of the way right now. So I've got a couple Terps in the house. Chad, I've got Vinny. Not sure I don't think I saw Dawn yet. That does not mean you need to buy it, but I do think of my customers when I buy things. It is a glass decorative coaster with an image of Annapolis, the state house of Annapolis, Maryland. So the capital of Maryland is Annapolis, and you've got this little smoke glass coaster with the image, a gold and white image of the state house on the dish. So if you've been to Annapolis, if you've been to Maryland, you celebrate your state capitals, or you're from Maryland, you've got, a gift for the Terps, Cindy. Thanks for joining. You've got the State House glass coaster. It's not signed. House does a lot of these. This one doesn't appear to have any sort of maker's mark on it, so I don't know who else did it. But cute little coaster. It's only $4. So $4 for the little Annapolis State House glass coaster. $4 by giving me number 55. $4.55 for the little coaster.
I love that smoke glass. I think that's so fun. And of course, our resident coaster lover, Karen Dondelinger, is picking that up. Congrats, Karen.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Karen. And so the Maryland East Coast State House is heading to the West Coast into San Francisco. So enjoy. All right, next item. I did try and find this item, and unfortunately, I was not able to find an example of it. But I found a couple of things that were related to it. And what I've got is this little trade set of a creamer and sugar with Elizabeth Regina II, so Queen Elizabeth II, with her, what is it called? Not her logo, her crest, the
crest, maybe,
whatever.
Or the crown.
So I showed it to Nate to see what he thought of it. And he said that a lot of times the things that were done with that would have been for her coronation. So that gave me kind of a starting off point. This is the under tray. It also has the Elizabeth Regina II monogram. Thank you, Dana.
Monogram. Yes, that's the word.
So you got her monogram in there. That a lot of these were done for the coronation. So I did a little bit of digging. European porcelain is always lots of fun. It has 2 stamps on it. So one of them is Arthur Wood. That stamp did start in the 50s, but then there's this stamp, upside down stamp. This stamp with the British flag, the stripes from the British flag in there. It is the British Pottery Manufacturers Federation. And a lot of pieces that had this stamp were specifically made for the coronation. Now, I couldn't find anything that said why this stamp exists. Is it only used for the coronation, or was it used for other things? That part I couldn't swear to, but the date stamp at least existed at the type of the coronation. This exists on other pieces that specifically said it was for the coronation, like it actually said coronation on it. And the fact, she doesn't need, this wasn't sold for Queen Elizabeth to use herself. So it was some sort of a celebratory piece. And because there is some definite crazing, I don't know if it showed up when I was showing the back stamp, you can see there's, some beautiful crazing that's going through this piece. It's old. There's enough crazing on it that this was not for her. What would it be? The Diamond Jubilee or whatever, that would have been much later. So I think this is a coronation piece. So you have the under tray and the creamer and the sugar. Now, not as many people go for creamers and sugars. Europe likes open sugars. They don't put covers on there. So this is the way it was designed. But if you don't like to do creamers and sugars, this is a super cool underplate. And so this could be just a trinket tray. This could be used for, if you want to celebrate. What does Great Britain celebrate? The Queen's birthday. I think that just happened.
Queen's birthday, yeah. They have a big party.
So you can make your own tiered tray with a tray, whatever you want. It is just kind of a cool piece. And for people that don't know what the E and the R stands for, you can educate people. So the R is Regina, Latin for Queen. If it was king, it'd be Rex. It'd still be an R, but it'd be Rex for king. So it is a 3-piece set, creamer sugar for the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. And as a set, it is $20. So $20 for the coronation set of creamer and sugar with the under tray, $20, giving me number 98. $20, 98. Yes, Claudia, I am wearing flamingos today. I don't intend to wear weird shirts when I do my sales, but I do a lot of weird shirts. So they just kind of pop
on. They're like the equivalent of my hats. People are loving your fun shirts.
I mean, if that's the case, we've got to buy more because I don't have all that many interesting shirts. But if that's people are getting, and yes, you can put digestive biscuits on it. There you go.
Blue cheese and honey. Kylie Cat S is picking up 98. So congratulations, Kylie. You got a piece of the Royals.
Great. Thank you so much, Kylie, for picking that up. All right, next piece. And I think, Katie, you and I had actually already talked about this one. I was not familiar with this, but I think you said you were.
Oh, I love Kings in the Corner.
So the game is copyrighted from 1996. I don't know if it predates that, but at least this version of it is from 1996. It says each player in this family game has an equal chance to win. So it's got like a little
center disc. That's exactly how you play.
Yeah, so give a little synopsis, give a crash course of how do you play Kings in the Corner.
Basically, the way Kings in the Corner works is you've got a deck in the middle, and then you have 4 cards on either side of the deck, and every person gets 7 cards in their hand. And it works a lot like solitaire. So you draw a card, and then you look at the board, and if there's a black 10, you can put a red 9, and so on and so forth. And of course, kings go in the corner, and the first person to get rid of their hand completely wins. So you can move cards around the deck. You can play as many cards as you can. And then when you're done and you don't have any more cards you can play, you knock. And then the next person gets a chance to go, and you just try to get rid of your cards. And it is just so much fun. And you don't need the mat in the middle, but of course it's cool. This game has it. I don't know why they have the chips because we've never played with the chips, but I had this game growing up. And of course it's just so fun.
I love when it creates rules like that, where like when you're done, you have to knock on the table. Like, yeah, why? Can't you just say it's your turn? So it's like those are the types of things that usually went away in my household, where it's just like, yeah, just go. You don't do the cutesy stuff. But it was great condition. The box is in great condition. It is technically, at least according to Etsy, it's technically a vintage game from 1996. It's one of those cases I kind of came across it at that estate sale, and I'm like, you know what? Oh, it's like a fun item. I got it cheap, so I'm selling it cheap. So it's $6. So $6, yes, Carolyn, it is a complete game, at least from what I understand. So Halen is saying the chips are for betting. Is there betting involved?
Well, the version we played, we never played with betting, but this version may have betting. So you might have a whole nother fun element that I've never played. But
your parents wanted to shield you from the demonology of betting.
My grandma's the one that taught us to play Kings in the Corner.
Oh, it says that if you can't make a play, you have to pay the pot.
Oh, I've never played that way. How fun.
So I don't know if that's the betting part. So it says you can't make a single play, pay the pot. First to empty your hand, you win the pot, plus your opponent's point chips for their unplayed cards. Reach 100 points, you win the game.
Now you can play with points. We never played with points, but you can play with points. I do know that. So lots of fun. Definitely a fun, exciting game night.
Absolutely.
And you can play up. I think 5 people you can play up to that game.
Actually, it says 6.
6. Okay.
Yeah, so that's actually nice to have that many people that can go into it. So it's saying 7 to adult, 2 to 6 players. So, again, fun little game. It's only $6. It's not particularly heavy, so it shouldn't cost all that much to ship. So $6, and you can have Kings in the Corner for giving me number 75. Number 75, $6 for Kings in the Corner.
I probably played close to 3,000 games of Kings in the Corner.
And I had never heard of it. So it was funny when you were saying, well, yeah, of course. And I'm like, oh, I've not actually heard of that game.
And I see Chad Retro Days picking up number 75. Congrats, Chad. You're going to have a lot of fun with that.
All right, Chad. We've got your got a Terp going Kings in the Corner heading into Maryland. All right. So moving on to the next item. Got this one was I inadvertently pulled too many items for Katie's sale last night. So this one did not make the sale last night. So just rolled right over into the sale. So yay me. This is for those of you of a certain age, you can remember, or hopefully you had a history class, Ronald Reagan as our president. But one of the odder things that he was known for and what this jar would represent is he used to keep jelly beans on his desk. And so you have a jar. It could be used for anything, but I'm sorry. When it says Ronald Reagan on it, it's got to be used for jelly beans. I am not giving you the jelly beans. And there you go. Christy, we're in it right in. It's a jelly bean jar. So you've got the Ronald Reagan, the little auto pen, reproduction of the signature, and the image of the American Eagle, the United States crest. Again, not a logo, but this one's not a monogram either, but seal. That's what I was thinking of. So you got the presidential seal. And for your useless knowledge, if you did not already know this, the which way the eagle is facing represents the time. It represents what condition the America is in at the time. Do you know this one, Katie?
I don't. That's something that I'm learning tonight.
Okay, so when the eagle is facing the olive branch, means the country is at a time of peace. When the eagle is facing the arrows, it is a time of war. So during World War II, I don't know at what points, images, the rug in the Oval Office would have been recreated and the eagle's pissed. So the eagle's going to look at the arrows and would represent the time. So there you go. People said they like to learn things on my channel, and that was just one of those little things that I get to pass on because I didn't know that people didn't always know that. So this was, Reagan was pretty much during a time of peace, whether you liked him or not. He did a lot of good things. We're not going to get into that, but he is known for liking his jelly beans. So you can recreate with the jelly bean, the Ronald Reagan jelly bean jar for $6. Excuse me. I don't think there was a mark or anything. I don't know who made this. So that's not particularly special. If this was sold in the White House gift shop, it probably was $500, but I'm selling it for $6. So $6 for the little Reagan jar, $6 by giving me number 90. $6, number 90 for the Reagan jar.
And I've been to the jelly bean factory. An interesting fact, they make all the weird jelly beans at night because they smell so badly that they can't produce those during the day when they have the factory tour. So
you're kidding.
The really gross flavors like the dirt and whatever is all produced at night when it smells.
Oh my goodness. I guess I would say that probably would happen, but it's funny that they then adjust just so people don't have to smell it during the day. I think that's kind of funny.
And I see Melody's Mini Miscellaneous picking up number 90. Congratulations, Melody.
Great. Thank you so much, Melody, for picking that up. All right. I don't know if Barb is still here, but Barb is my resident restaurant wear expert. And she's helped me many, many times recognize patterns, find out information about makers, because there's so much out there. She has a lot of the reference books, and she's just been doing it for a long time. This one ends up being a piece that is not labeled or marked, but it's that heavier china. So it would be, I would say it would be considered a restaurant wear piece. You can see there's some depth, there's some heft to this. Still be lightweight, still be under a pound, it'd go first class. But it is a butter pat. So it is the size of a butter pat. It's too small to be a coaster. I'm always on the lookout for my coasters too. But this one's only 3 inches across. So these are designed to be the butter pats. It is the Indian tree pattern, which is one of my favorite patterns. But I am in no interest in trying to recreate another collection. So the restaurant wear always comes through my live sales, particularly the ones that don't have the stamp on the back. Lamberton's, because Scamell is my favorite, but those typically go on eBay or Etsy because those sell for higher price. This one, there's some remnants of what might have been a paper label or something, but no, identifying marks of the maker. It's just a cool butter pat. Perfect condition, no chips, no cracks, and no crazing. And it is simply butter pat. So for a butter pat, it's $5. So $5 for the little butter pat of restaurant wear, $5 by giving me number 74. $5, number 74 for the Indian tree butter pat. Oh, that's true, Carolyn. You could definitely use that for a spoon rest.
Absolutely. If you had a serving buffet Thanksgiving, you could put that in between your little dishes and have your nice little serving spoon rest. And I see Carolyn Whitney picking up number 74.
Excellent. It's also the size. I had this in, I had the clear glass cup plates, which have the same kind of inner diameter. It also happens to be almost the exact same diameter of a tea light. So you can also use it as an underplate for a tea light.
And just a quick update, there is 16 minutes left on the auction. There's only $35 current bid. So definitely go over to the eBay. I just put in the link and give that beautiful blue male a look.
Absolutely. So thank you so much. All right. Next item. This is one that, to be perfectly honest, I bought it to end up going up onto eBay because they tend to sell well there. But when I get them for good prices, I like to offer them for good prices here on my live sale. And so for those of you are the crafty types, we've got an embroidery kit. So this one is a scarf for embroidery or ballpoint painting. I grew up with ballpoint painting. If you don't know what ballpoint painting is, you have missed out in your childhood. It used to be called, well, I knew it as trichem. I had never even heard of it referred to as ballpoint painting. But the minute I saw that term, like, oh yeah, that's what it is. And we had a large wall map of the United States. We used to go camping. I hated it, but we used to go camping when I was a kid. And every time we went to a new state, we would sit there as a family, like the only thing we did together, and we would color the states that we visited. And we actually, I looking back, we traveled a lot more than most kids did because we camped. It was cheaper to do. So this is it's still completely sealed. It's new old stock. It is a table runner. They're calling it a scarf. Table runner with the pattern pre-printed onto the fabric. So it's not like cross stitch. So this would be considered embroidery, or they're saying you could turn it into, those little ink pieces, the ballpoint ink, and you could color all of these in. So you basically have quilt blocks in the design. I want to say that middle one is the Ohio Star, but it's been quite some time since I owned the quilt shop, so I don't remember them all, and I don't remember what the baskets were called. But so you got the pattern for the scarf, and then I'm not sure what that, does it say it's like both of them are in here? Saying the scarf, stamped goods, create something you'll love. Country Fair. Package contains one permanent press scarf, 14.5 inches by 39 inches, stamped for embroidery or painting with easy to follow illustrated instructions. So I'm not sure. I guess they just cut the scarf apart to make the embroidery hoop art. But it's just the one piece that would make the table runner. So it is a, yes, absolutely, Melody. Camping was just, no, that's, I'm now I'm gonna have night terrors just talking about it. But anyway, it's a embroidery kit. So it's only $6. So if you're interested in the new old stock sealed embroidery kit, you want to make the Ohio Star and or other other quilt patterns, $6 for the kit, and you get it by giving me number 91. $6, number 91. Amen, Peterson. You know, camping can be fine. When I was really little, we had a pop-up camper, so it ended up being like you had to set it all up. And I will just say my father was not the most patient individual. So for those of you who have ever dealt with a pop-up camper, you need some patience. So then we moved on to this monstrosity, this super long camper. You still pulled it. It wasn't a motorhome, super long camper. And it actually, I still remember this, it slept 11. Now, if you're claustrophobic, you could never sleep in this, but there were like things that came out of the ceiling and you could fit 2 people in there. But the person that was on the inside was like in a coffin because there was no space. But realistically, you still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like you could still sleep 7 comfortably. So it wasn't, and it had running water, it had a shower, it had indoor toilet, it had air conditioning, but no, I did that enough that to me, roughing it is not getting room service. So
Nate is here. Yay, Nate.
Nate's back.
And yes, I went camping a lot growing up because my dad is very outdoorsy, but he was very good at setting up camp, and he could cook all kinds of things. We had quail and pheasant, and he would go deer hunting, and we were very comfortable when he would camp. But we had tents, but he made sure that we had the thermarests, and we were all set up out camping. So it was kind of fun growing up for me just because I had a better experience. But now I don't know, I'd want to do it by myself.
I mean, I think a lot of it also goes into, it's a lot of family dynamic. It's a lot of individuality, because like one of the things, just setting up a camper is, wouldn't necessarily be that big of a deal. Like, yes, there's still steps and you have to do it. But I still remember, one of the most stressful parts of setting up, whether it was the little pop-up or the really, once you had the really long one, it was worse, is we would rent in places that, you'd pay for the spots that so you had electricity, running water, all that stuff. So they would give you the little cement slab that you're supposed to park on. My father was obsessed that the trailer had to be centered on that slab. So he felt that he would be judged by the other guys in the campground if he did not park his trailer perfectly square in this thing. So, to me, it's like, well, moving back and forth and pulling forward and reversing 85,000 times, I think you're going to be mocked for that way more than being crooked on a pad. But that was his thing. And so he would get really upset for anybody that was trying to help him back in, because it was all about, to the left, to the right, whatever, everything's in reverse. It's a big deal to deal with. And it was always somebody else's fault if when he was done, it was crooked. Yep. Night terrors are definitely coming to me tonight. All right. So we know takers on the embroidery. Thank you for the reminder, Katie, that the Peacock Bowl is still up. I think I just got a note that there's another bid on it. So let's see where it's at. Got to open up the link.
There is 9 minutes left, folks, and I'm seeing 35 as the current bid.
Okay. It may have just been a reminder that popped up. So so this is currently selling for only $35. So,
and it is gorgeous.
And anybody that buys tonight, like if you buy anything else in the sale, if you also pick that up, just let me know so I know I can combine anything that you're buying. Okay. So moving into my typical favorites of pottery, porcelain, and glass. So here's another piece. I don't sell wall pockets that often because I don't come across them very often. But this is a super sweet, made in Japan wall pocket. It's got an image of the girl kind of, sitting on some imaginary shelf with these ginormous flowers. I mean, there are some cases where you really can't overanalyze some of these pieces too much, because either she is like a fairy or a pixie of some sort, but wearing a Victorian dress, because why would she be smaller than the flowers? But regardless, it's got the 3 flowers across the top. The colors are coming across, I think, pretty good in what I'm seeing on the screen. So the body is the yellow. You've got the 2 blue flowers, and then the orange flower in the top does match the orange of her dress. It does say made in Japan. I would say that this is probably, what do you think, Katie, around the 30s, kind of based on her dress?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that made in Japan mark is older than just Japan, so
right.
definitely older.
So I think we're between the two wars, and it's in absolutely perfect condition. There's no chips, there's no cracks. There's a sweet little piece, and it is $12. Oh, Alice in Wonderland. I don't think Alice in Wonderland though. Wasn't her dress specified? Like, didn't she only wear white?
I think she had a white dress on, but
Yeah, so I think the orange, that's a good guess, but I think the orange throws that. So I just think it's somebody was not thinking that if this was proportional, those flowers are 20 feet tall. So
you never know with the made in Japan pieces, but they're wonderful and definitely fun.
yeah, so it's a cutie. Yeah, so Vinny's saying her, yeah, so Alice would have been blue and white. But anyway, whoever she is, she's on this beautiful wall pocket. $12 for the wall pocket, and you can get it by giving me number 78. $12, number 78 for the wall pocket. Okay, so another guess of Thumbelina. Can't say I know the story of Thumbelina other than that.
Wow.
So I don't know if that dress dictates anything. She's got the little like kind of Mary Jane style shoes on, the petticoats. But
and I see Mr. and Mrs. Berkeley Girl. Congratulations for picking up number 78.
all right, I think you might be a new one to me too. So thank you so much. I don't know if that's Berkeley, California, but always good to have to ship breakables to California. It's like a little hobby of mine. Try to make sure they get there in one piece. So thank you so much, and enjoy. Just make sure you send me your shipping address, because I don't think you have bought from me before. All right. This was also going to be in Katie's sale last night, because Katie does a bunch of stuff with photography. She does beautiful photography, and she has a lot of different photography type stuff in her collection. And I just thought this was like a fun little piece. And I'm so glad that I posted this on my Instagram, because I randomly just grabbed a couple of the slides that are in this little slide box. And it turns out one of the slides that I grabbed ended up being a Citroen car. And I don't know am I saying that right, Katie? What's this Citroen?
Citroen, I think is the correct term. I could be wrong.
So, all right. So let's see if we can get this to show. I meant to take some pictures. Let's see if I can get the light behind it and see if you guys can see it without blinding you.
Look at that. How awesome.
Yeah, so there are a couple of slides in here. So this one is the Citroen, which I did not know. Sam Doyen gets the recognition, but a bunch of people commented on it afterwards. So these are Sears made slides, and happen very, very nicely, have them dated September 1962. So we've got the car. We've got kind of a park scene. See if I can get this one. Maybe it's I guess it's probably their front yard. There's a lot of trees. So I don't know if that's still the same car out in the street.
And Virginia is saying that her brother had one, and it is French.
Yeah, that's why I'll be perfectly honest, when Sam said it was a Citroen, I'm like, yeah, no, Sam, I'm pretty sure this is from the Midwest. But evidently that was a real thing that they did import them here into the United States. So we've got a beach scene. You got it looks like maybe a mother and a child at the beach. So maybe we're not in the Midwest, because unless that's Lake Michigan. And then this one, I can't even see. I can't see what that one is myself. Oh, there we go. The family. You got a guy standing up and a woman sitting down on the side.
Look at those clothes.
So those are all dated September 1962. So I'm assuming those are all from the same family. And then these were I think these are like souvenir ones that you would get, because they say right at the top it's from the Florida Cypress Gardens. I don't think, does that exist anymore? I remember going to the Cypress Gardens.
I think that they still have the Cypress Gardens.
Oh, really?
I think
this one shows right on there. This is the two-toed sloth. So I don't know if you can see it against my shirt. You can see a little bit of the outline there. We've got the African crown crane against my flamingos. The golden pheasant. The bridge overlooking lagoon. Somebody took great care in naming these. You can see a little waterway there. And then the Buddha. So you got the statue of the Buddha in a garden.
And I just looked, and Cypress Gardens closed in 2009, but they're part of it's Legoland now.
Oh, I remember. I want to say Cypress Gardens was the one that I remember going to, that the women wore like the antebellum, like the ball gowns with the really wide hoop skirts, and they walked around with their little parasols. I want to say that was Cypress Gardens. But
I think that is. We went on a field trip there when I was in school.
So you've got the little case plus, so that ended up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That ended up being 9 slides in the little plastic case. You know, again, this case is probably from the 60s, so it's probably plastic. It's not going to be Bakelite. So you get the whole set of the slides plus little case. Everything's only $8. So $8 for all of the slides and the Cypress Garden stuff. $8 by giving me number 72. $8, number 72 for the slide lot.
And there is 2 minutes left on that beautiful Mayo, guys. So go check that out and get your bids in for that on eBay.
And Dana, if you're still here, you're just commenting on the Gator Pit. You always have been asking if we're going to sell anything from the top of my piano. Look what's going up into the auction next. So that will be going live in 2 minutes. And so I will show that as soon as everything flips over. All right. The next item I'm sharing, this was nothing about Katie's sale last night, but the reason I have this is because of Katie. This is a little box set of a flower arranging kit. So we had no takers on the slides. So we'll put those over there. Thank you, Nate. I picked this up on my trip to Pennsylvania. And in it, it actually lists what is supposed to be in this box. It's a flower arranging kit, and it's supposed to have a pin holder, a mesh holder, brass candle holders, package of floral clay, and the arranging booklet. Unfortunately, the kit is not complete. So what is in here are the 2 candle holders. And the way the candle holders are designed is they've got the little prongs at the bottom. You literally put them in the flower frog, because that is included as well. Also, Beth is saying she got her mystery box and loved the needle books. Oh, and the Wade Whimsy. That's right. You found one of the Wade Whimsies went into that one. So you've got, this is 2 candle holders. I don't know what the plastic is for. There's only one of the little pieces of plastic, so I'm not actually sure if that's part of the kit or not. You can see the little candle holder fits into the pin flower frog. So you've got the 2 candlestick holders, the 3-inch pin flower frog. This is not stamped in any way. Well, actually, is that a stamp?
It seems like that maybe just is a round.
Yeah, I think that's just like where they made the mold. So I don't think this I couldn't find a name on. So you get the pin holder, the candlestick holders, and it does have the flower arranging clay. And the floral clay does say Vogue on it, which that's the reason I bought it. So Katie was saying that this would be like the Vogue name was something that was known. So there is clay in here. I've not tested whether it would actually still be functional, because based on the art of this, I'm thinking 50s.
I think 50s too. And
I think this clay is pretty old.
Saying that the plastic cup might be for water, and that very well could be.
Okay. The other thing I was wondering is, because it does sit around the bottom, why would you need that? Yeah, I don't know. So it does say on the plastic, remove, replace. I don't know. I don't know if it's supposed to go in the middle. Maybe it's like something you slide in to make because then it sticks up. The candle would stick up. So anyway, you get the whole thing. It doesn't really say what that piece is. So it's the clay, the large size pin floral frog, 2 candle holders, and maybe there's a couple of parts of the artwork on this that are still pretty good condition. You might be able to arrange it in some sort of a vignette, just because the box does have some cool graphics on it. So you get the entire kit, the entire set, for $15. So $15. Okay, we got Sue Spezio is quoting from Stage Door, one of my favorite movies. So $15 for the floral arrangement kit by giving me number 86.
That is just an amazing set. And those pin-type flower frogs have so many possibilities to put things inside of them. They are just fabulous.
So is Sue testing me? I just gave you the movie. So the person who said the famous line was, of course, Katharine Hepburn in the movie Stage Door.
And plastic is to protect the prongs on the candle holders.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay, so it looks like no takers on that one. All right, but the Mayo Bowl did sell for $35, which, to be perfectly honest, is a little bit lower than I would have thought, and be honest, lower than I would have liked, but that's okay. And let's see who that went to. If it happens to be anybody here in the chat. Well, it went to somebody with the word lilac in their eBay name. So
I wonder if that's
I know we've got a couple lilac people. So if you are one of the lilacs who purchased that, let me know. Because then again, if that you will have already paid, once you pay, you will have already paid for shipping. Oh, it's Sandy from For Sandy's Lilacs.
Oh, excellent. Fantastic.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Sandy, for picking that up. So you've already paid for, once you pay that, you'll have already paid for the shipping for that. So what I'll do is then I'll package everything up, including that, because you just bought some more items. I'll package it all up. I will then deduct what you've already paid, and then I'll just charge you the difference. So you get the benefit of purchasing in the live sale as well as purchasing from eBay. So bonus. So congratulations, Sandy. Thank you so much for picking that up. So that sale ended 4 minutes ago, and what started 4 minutes ago, Dana, is one of the pots that was from my piano. So it used to sit right here, but when this came into play, this is significantly larger than the other one that used to be here. That we had to move that. I had to ditch something. So a few pieces got moved into the side. This one did not get retained. So this one is in great condition. It is a piece of stoneware, but as you can see, it does not have the cobalt decoration. And that is why this was the one that just basically got jettisoned from the collection. What I was told when I picked it up, it was considered an end of day piece because it doesn't have any decoration on it. It's rather crudely done. You can see like right at the top, it's not quite flat. So if I hold it perfectly upright, you can see there's like a little dip in the top. And what this one would have been doing is they would have made this because there was space left in the kiln. So they were doing the pieces that they sold. And so then somebody just said, okay, we're going to be heating up this kiln. We're talking about 19th century here. We've got extra space. We need to shove something in there. So they would make something probably for themselves. So this would have been about the size of a canning jar. So they just relatively crudely made it. So I always liked the fact, I liked the story that it was an end of day piece because I hadn't been familiar with that concept. They do the same thing sometimes with glass. But it's in great shape. There's no cracks, which is the biggest issue with stoneware. There's a little bit of a blemish on the side, but the glazing kind of fills that in. So I think that was made at the time it was made. So this is up for sale right now in the eBay auction. So I will say, Angela, if somebody were to buy this locally, you're going to get charged the freight, but I would give you a credit if you wanted to pick it up. I would give you the credit because obviously I wouldn't be shipping it to you if you're coming to my house. But the way eBay works, you would get charged right out of the gate. So you were joking, but that is a fair question. So this is for sale right now. Katie just dropped the link to that one as well. And that item will end next Thursday in the middle of the live sale at the top of the hour as well.
Gorgeous.
What's that, Katie?
I said, just a gorgeous piece from Patrick's piano.
Yep. So it is for my collection. Hell is not quite freezing over, Beth. My philosophy is my collections fill a specific amount of space. And right now my collections are completely filled. I picked up 3 new pieces. And so it's just that philosophy. I don't know, like it's been around for a long time, but that idea of, one in, one out. So instead of like spreading the collection to other pieces, I love these 3 pieces that I brought in. I don't not love that one, but had to make the choice, Sophie, and that one was the one that got pulled. So It is if with the box, because I did have to put all that information into the eBay listing. With the box and the packaging, I'll have to put on. It'll be about 5 pounds. So it's by itself is about like just under 4 pounds, and then once I throw on the box and then whatever the packing materials I put in 5 will be the weight. So there will be some weight. Piano. I would have to say over my dead body, which is probably a true statement. This piano is not going anywhere while I have anything to say about it. But once I keel over, my daughter will probably be the first one to put it on to offer up. So anyway, next item. This was also, if you follow me on Instagram, this was also an item that I did a promotional piece on. Katie had one of these last night, and so I decided not to put mine at the same sale as hers. So I pushed this into mine. This is the Princess Marcella Borghese face powder, and it's Luminosa, which sounds very Harry Potter to me, but it's a wondrous new face powder for evening as lustrous as shimmering moonlight. Yeah. So it is a New York distributed, but what's special about this one is it's actually still sealed. It's new old stock. So you can see the glare there. The plastic is covering that up. This is actually still has all the powder in it, and it still moves around because it's been completely sealed in under plastic. So there is a little bit of a blemish on the side, which looks like it might have been the price tag. It is on top of the box, but I am concerned about pulling that off. There's stuff called undo, which is supposed to let stickers and stuff come off without damaging the underside. I did not try that. So just be aware that there is something on the side that I think was once a price tag. So it may be able to easily come off, but I'm leaving it on there. And it is available for $8. So $8 for the new old stock face powder, $8 by giving me number 96. $8.96 for the Marcella Borghese face powder.
Yes, Leviosa Luminosa. That's what I feel like a Harry Potter reference. And that is really cool. You don't find things with the powder still inside.
All right. Next item is some wall art that I picked up. I don't typically carry art. One reason is because it's typically expensive to ship. But I found some art that I don't think is going to be expensive to ship because it's very lightweight. And I also don't get mid-century modern very often. So I actually have an opportunity of offering some mid-century modern. And they are it's a pair of matching wall plaques with this, I don't know if it's still considered pebble art, but it's got like the little aqua blue seed beads in there, but I think they're plastic. So the whole thing is still very lightweight. So I'm not sure if that's still considered pebble art or not, but it's got that seagrass background. It's got like the rope, is applied to it. I would say these are so finely done. Like the wood is carved really nicely. Everything's applied very nice. I think these were produced. I don't think these were kits that you would get from your home. I could be wrong but I just think the way that handle is applied, somebody knew what they were doing when they did it. So Dana, you're still saying that these would be considered pebble art. So I wouldn't disagree. I just like the pebble art that I've seen literally use rocks, so like once you moved into this plastic, and also the overall appeal or appearance of them, it's like accenting, like the pebble arts that I've seen, like the entire thing is covered in pebble art, which means the entire thing ends up weighing 4 pounds because it's covered in rocks. So these are just like little seagrass. There is one of the cords on the back. You can see it was attached. It did become unattached, so it needs to be glued back on. I did not try and tackle that because I don't know if you necessarily would want to rehang it with that string, but that's how this one was hung as well. Those, I think the original, you can see where the cardboard's kind of been peeled a little bit. I have a feeling that whatever the cords that were originally applied fell off long ago. So these have been reattached multiple times. So you've got the pair of wall art, pebble art, whatever you would like to call it. So we got Mayberry's pushing the bring back pebble art kits. So we've got the Pebble Art, whether they were kits or produced, you get the pair of them for $15. They'll fit into a fairly standard, like it might hit a pound, but it's not going to go much over. So probably use a priority mailbox. These would be the perfect size to go in one of those. So it's $15 for the pair, and you get both of the Pebble Art pieces for $15 by giving me number 92. $15.
And I see Dana saying that Montgomery Ward sold many items like those, and pixies, cats, and other designs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like the bottle designs. I just thought those were kind of cool.
And I see Kimsey picking those up. Congratulations, Kim.
All right. Thank you, Kim, for picking up the wall art. All right. Next one. I just thought this was a fun piece. It is older. And this is why I also found it somewhat interesting. It is a German piece of pottery that has been painted to look like a pie. So it has the blueberries, done in a way to divide out the pie. It's got the little blueberry sections, and it looks like, I don't know, those would have been cherries, or I don't know what goes with a blueberry pie. What would that be?
I mean, we have cherry and blueberry pies here.
I don't know if they would make them together, or if that's just some sort of accent. The whole thing's a blueberry pie. So I'm not really sure. But the mark on the back, it does not have a full maker's mark. What it has is an incised mark that says Germany. So this is hovering probably closer to pre-World War I. The fact that this has an incised mark. And so you can tell by some of the glazing, some of the crazing on the back and the glazing around the bottom, this definitely has some age to it, which the front belies because it's in absolutely perfect condition. The design seems something that would be far more contemporary, but the fact that it has an incised Germany stamp to it puts it definitely before World War II. And in my opinion, based on other German pottery and porcelain that I've carried, is actually probably pre-World War I. So after the 1892 act that required it to say where it was coming from. So you've got a 100-year-old piece here, but it's just a little plate, the little pie plate. Schnozberries. There you go, Melody. We've got blueberries and schnozberries. Who's ever heard of a schnozberry? So whatever kind of berries you like, it's just a cute little, whether you use it for pie, whether you use it as a little pin dish, trinket dish for your coins. It's just a small, I should actually tell you what the diameter is. Probably 5 inches, 5.5 inches. So a little bit too big to be a coaster, but it's just a cute little plate. It's only $7. So there you go. Hail on my ready mind. So yeah, 5.5 inches in diameter. So 5.5 inches for the plate. It's only $7. And you get that by giving me number 36. $7.36 for the little blueberry / schnozberry pie plate.
That is just fun. Love that design.
All right. The next item, I don't know if Vinny is still here. But the next item actually is related to him, because once upon a time when live sales were just starting out, I bought this from him, and I bought it for use in a specific area of my home. And I'm kind of like redoing things in that area now, so I don't need it anymore. So I am pairing it with another item that I picked up. So the item that I picked up from Vinny is this little vintage letter holder. So it's kind of like a little pleather vinyl, says letters. I kind of liked it because it had Chicago's actually on there. I don't know when this dates to, probably the 60s or 70s. So I had that, and that actually was holding my mail in my utility room. So there you go, Vinny. That was what you bought from me. And then what I found recently, and why I decided to go ahead and sell that piece, which I hadn't been using, I found this one, which is a little bit older. I would say this probably dates to the 40s or the 50s. And it's a little box, a little desk set box that you would have to hold your rubber bands and your paper clips. So you've got a little hinged lid, which is what I liked about it, because it's got the hinge, not a loose lid, and the two little sections to hold your rubber bands and your paper clips. The top is still brass. It looks like it was supposed to hold something in the top, because you can see there's corners there. So I don't know if this would have had a calendar in it or something. If it did, it's long gone. So I don't know. And it's too big to hold a business card. So I'm not sure what that actually would have been used for. Any ideas, Katie?
Well, I was wondering if maybe you could put a photograph in it.
Yeah, it'd be a weird size for a photograph because it's so wide. and you'd only have the corners. So it would hold, if you wanted to like custom cut a photograph, it's a 4 by 2.5. It's a 4-inch by 2.5 holder. So kind of cool. Oh, it looks like people are offering to buy it for you, Katie. So you've got the rubber bands and paper clip holder, plus the letter holder that originally came from. Oh, maybe it might hold a postcard. 2.5 by 4 though. I think it's a little small for a postcard, Kim. Maybe
calendar is probably your best answer.
That was my thought. Is like or like a perpetual calendar, or maybe like this was through your bank or something, and you had like 1 year's worth of calendar that fit in there, and you're supposed to go back and get another one. I don't know, but anyway, you get the both. I'm sure Katie would love it if somebody wanted to buy it for her, but I don't think she's a dire need for organizing her letters and rubber bands. So she's like 85,000 typewriter ribbon tins to hold her rubber bands, so she probably doesn't need another one.
I have a lot of typewriter ribbon tins.
But you get both pieces. So you get the heritage of Vinny plus some heritage from Trusty for $12 for the pair. So $12 for the 2 pieces, and get it by giving me number 83. $12.83 for the 2 pieces.
Welcome, Sheila, and thanks everybody for joining us tonight.
Hi, Sheila. All right, so there's been some talk on my channels before, on some videos that I've done before about what Melmac is, melamine, the difference between melamine and Melmac. And I ended up picking up another piece, and it used a term that I had not heard of before. It is a melamine plate from the Ponderosa restaurant. I don't think those exist anymore, but I could be wrong. This one is Ponderosa by Prolon. So I have a feeling Prolon is like a competitor to Melmac. So it's the material. The Ponderosa name actually does have a registered trademark on it, but I think that's because it's the restaurant name, not the pattern name. And so you can see Ponderosa is also going all the way around the rim on the plate. It's definitely used. It's got some utensil marks in there. I did not try and see if I can get the shine to hit it. There you go. So it definitely has some utensil marks in there. I am not sure like the best way to clean melamine, so I did not try and do that. So this is coming to you in as is condition, but it does still say the Ponderosa and then the Prolon name on the back. So it's not Melmac, because if it was made with Melmac material, then they could say Melmac. The fact that it doesn't means it's just melamine made from another producer. So you've got the Ponderosa little melamine plate, and that one is $5. So $5 for the little Ponderosa plate, and you get that by giving me number 69. $5, number 69 for the Ponderosa plate.
And 83 is going to Victoria H. And Victoria H, thank you so much. She's sending that to me. I really do appreciate that.
All right, I will ship that to Katie. Thank you, Vicki, for picking that up.
A lot of people are remembering Ponderosa. My mom went there a lot growing up, so definitely fun memories.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I went there growing up. That wasn't the buffet place, though, was it?
I think you could buy steak, and I don't know if they had a buffet too, but my mom remembers getting the little medium, rare, other little tags that would come in the steak when they bring it out on the plate.
Okay. So Brian did a little research, and he is saying that card, the little place in the lid, would have held the current postal rates. So that was probably something that, could probably be reproduced each year. So that's interesting. That'd be a good place to have it available. So that's cool. So you can find the current postal rates, Katie, and you can print it out and put it in there,
and that will be perfect.
All right. What I've started doing, because I do the original mystery box at the top of the sale, I bury another mystery box somewhere else in the sale. And guess what? We're doing another mystery box. So we've got this mystery box, works the exact same way. It is still $15. I still will not tell you the number. You're going to make you guess, but this is a different range. So again, $15. Again, it'll be filled based on where you live and how far I have to ship it. If you would like to get this mystery box for $15, you need to give me a number between 90 and 99. The number falls between 90 and 99. And yep, Peterson, another maxi pad goes in. So we've got a mystery box with maxi pad is going in for the next mystery box. Number between 90 and 99. Okay, I see the number.
I see the number too, but I am going to wait for
Yep.
Nate to confirm because I think that's the best way to do it. We'll see what Mr. Nate has to say. You got to make it all the way to New Zealand and be fully.
Which for some reason it seems to be particularly fast. You know, it's definitely amazing how quickly he can see things.
He is so fast and so agile and so good. And yes, Dana gets it.
There you go. It was 93. That is the same person I saw as the first one. So Dana gets the mystery box. So congratulations, Dana. I don't think you got a mystery box from me before. So congratulations. Glad you picked that up. Congratulations. All right. I said I'd do this before Nate got tired and then I forgot. So guess what time it is, Nate?
Time to faint, Nate.
Time to faint, Nate. All right. So this one is, I like to do multiples because as much as I feel if you refresh your screen, you know, if you're, you know, you just, again, I'm not selling the Mona Lisa, you know, you can get things even if you feel your internet's relatively slow. I still, people all the time like, oh my God, I never get anything because it is like a weird thing. So I like when I do multiples because then more people have a chance to get in there. So even if they're not number one, you know, maybe they're number two, or maybe they're number three. Well, this time I can go to number 45. So there you go, Nate. Nate is bracing for impact. So he knows that this is coming. But what I have is actually one, in my opinion, one of the coolest things that I have had in a while as a small piece to make available. It is a Deutsche Post stamp booklet. But I did a little bit of digging in this, and what we discovered is it is from the 50s, and that is from the 50s. It is from East Germany. So I had my daughter do a little bit of translating, my German major daughter, and she translated some of the items. So right out of the, let's see. On the outside, it's just the Deutsche Post with the Deutsche Post logo, and then the number of stamps that are included in this little booklet and their values. All of the books are this identical. And the inside cover is just information about the post office. And then you start seeing a page of stamps. So you've got the stamps, and it says right on there the Deutsche Demokratische Republik. So it is East Germany. So you've got a 5 Pfennig East German stamp. Then you turn the page and you have a little advertisement for Lufthansa. So you've got a cool vintage advertisement that she said, flying is always an experience. So you've got a German advertisement for Deutsche Lufthansa. Then you've got another page of the 10 Pfennig stamps. Then you've got a lottery system, 6 out of every 49, the best chance to win. So you've got a little promotion for the state lottery system. Then you've got another set of stamps. And this one, if you look at the top, the pink stamp, it says Berlin Stalin Alley. So because this is East Germany, this is East Berlin, and it is the Stalin roadway or the Stalin Alley is referenced in this stamp. And then you get to the back of it, and there's a cute picture of a hausfrau feeding table scraps to the pig. And it says, Danke an Jolantha, don't forget Jolantha. And so Jolantha is evidently, even my daughter didn't know this, we had to do some digging. There was a movie made in like the 20s or the 30s that was about Jolantha the pig that then kind of became a national thing that Germans love their pigs, and whether you have a pet pig or not, and that Jolantha was the biggest name for pigs. And then Kuchen Abfalla is kitchen scrap. So the whole idea was don't be wasteful in your food. And if you have table scraps, don't throw them away. Remember the pig and give them your table scraps. And then you've got another ad on the back. Well, actually, wait, 2 ads. Oh, no, yeah. And then the ad on the back is another one for their lotto system. So it's just this cute little booklet, and I have 45 of them. So they're fun to pick up. They're fun price. My daughter took one of them because she thought these were super cool. So this would be great whether you're doing, if you're doing some junk journaling, if you just have some German fans, you like the artwork from the 50s. It's just a fun little piece. And these are going to be sold a little bit differently because I have so many of them. A lot of people may want these and they're not buying anything else. So what these are going to be is I'm actually, for the first time ever, I'm including these as with shipping included, because they'll just get included into a little envelope. So it's $5 shipping included. So I will ship these to wherever you need to. If you buy anything else, I will just tuck it in there and I'll knock some some pennies off of your purchase because you're already paying for the shipping based on this one. But if this ends up being the only thing you're buying, you're only paying me $5. You're not paying like $5 plus a stamp, or I'm not going to upcharge for anything else. It's just $5. So I've got Nate is prepped. We'll see if these are popular. I think they're cool. My daughter thinks they're cool. Let's see if anyone else thinks they're cool. So they're $5. The first 45 people that give me number 70. So number 70, $5 shipping included. You get your own little pack. So if you want to, and if you want more than one, just enter the name and enter the number as many times as you want. And then when you're done, like kind of maybe remind us how many you wanted. But yeah, I said pennies. Vinny, thank you for like pointing out my mistake. I meant I will credit you the cost of the stamp. Stamp costs 55 cents, so I'll knock that off. So it's 55 pennies that I'll save you. Okay, you little buster. So 55 cents you'll save, but I'm not going to charge you $5.55. I'm just going to charge you $5. So we'll see. Looks like they're somewhat popular. Not.
Yes, they are.
But it doesn't look like they're crazy popular. So
they are very cool.
Yeah, so we may have plenty for like people wanted multiples. It looks like you're going to have plenty to be able to pick up multiples of these. So if you want extras, you could just tell us, put a note in that's saying, hey, you want a total of 3, you want a total of 5, 20, and they'll still go in the order. But since they didn't go crazy, Nate escapes a little bit without being super crazy. I will take a screenshot to help back him up. And I
did that as well. And I do see German stamps going to Melody's Mini Miscellaneous, Halen the Seat, Karen Dondelinger, Victoria H., Jean Marie, Linda, Elm Street Odds and Ends, Helen Casey, Nat Rumagalapedia, and Sheila Putman.
There you go. So thank you all for picking those up. If you want more, drop me an email or put something in the chat so that Nate or I see it. And we will see where these end up, going up. They might end up start going into mystery boxes. Who knows where they will end up.
I'd also like to announce that Deb Riley, Nettie, and Cam's Folly will also be getting some of those fabulous pieces.
Awesome. And then Melody is clarifying that both Halem and she would like, sometimes they both are trying to get it to be the first, so they both want one. And these, to be perfectly honest, I was perfectly happy to not sell all of these because they do sell fairly commonly on eBay and Etsy, so I'll just list them there too. So I'm not overly concerned. All right, next piece. Let's do some parrots. We got it. Well, it's one parrot. I've got. How do I hold this? I think that's right. I have a parrot plate. It is a terracotta parrot plate. He is looking at you. They look into my eye. It is from a company that I really could not find anything about. I looked on eBay, I looked on Etsy, tried to find it, but the name is so common, I could not find anything that tied to People Lover Parrot Plate. Has a copyright at the top, so I'm assuming People Lover is the name of the company, but I have no idea what era this is from. The fact that it has the copyright symbol on there means I don't think it's like super old, so maybe it's a 80s, 90s, it could be older than that. I do not know. What do you think, Katie?
I probably would say 90s as well. I think that is just a really cool design.
Yeah, so it's got all of the dark marks in here are actually in size. So it's not just painted onto the terracotta, it's actually molded into the design. So like where the red is, like every place where you see the little brown coloration between the colors is cut into the clay. So it's just kind of a cool piece. I really liked it. There's a couple marks where it looks like some stray glaze got onto it that I'm assuming was probably done at the production, at production. Like, I don't know where else you have blue paint that would show up, maybe, who knows? It could be anything. Hey, Dawn. So there is a couple places where there's a little bit of blue that just kind of adds to the color, but primarily you've got a parrot plate, red cap, yellow beak, and then it's a greenish glaze as the feathers around the face. And it is the People Lover parrot plate, and he is $10. So $10 for the Terracotta People Lovers parrot plate, and that is number 81. $10, 81 for the parrot plate.
And that would be great on a plate hanger. You could really add that to a gallery wall, and it would just be so fun.
So back to some ephemera. I'm disappointed we did not overwhelm Nate. So I feel like I should go grab one of my other multiples, but I won't. I'm just going to grab what I have here for the sale. But I do have another piece of ephemera. And
Diane Carter also would like number 70. I've got you, Diane.
Excellent. Thank you. So we've got no takers on the parrot plate. All right, so the next one is another piece of ephemera. This is something that I had never come across before, and I thought it was pretty cool. It is a little, so I'll start with the outer book. It's like a little envelope that's made, it's a paperboard envelope. Like, it's kind of like cardboard, but it's got a coating to it. So I don't know what these are, if like what this you would, did you have a name for this, Katie? It's kind of got like a texture to it, but you can see where it's been torn. It's like, it's got a paper body, but it's not a plastic coating. It's just, but there is some sort of a coating on this. So it's kind of like
a paperboard.
Yeah, so it's like a paperboard. It's very thin, so it's not like the heavy shipping case that I had a couple weeks ago. But it holds your ration books. And so what I have is a World War II ration book envelope, as well as one of the ration books that came in it. So this was War Ration Book number 4, as well as kind of like the instructional sheet that was included, the certificate of registration. So you've got the United States of America War Ration Book. So this is saying War Ration Book number 1. Now, I don't know if this to me looks different than this one. So I'm not sure if this was more of an instruction book. This one, well, let me start with number 1. When you open it up, it's just a series of coupons in it. This is what you would use, that these include your rations. So this is War Ration stamp 20 and 19 are still attached. It also includes this set of little stamps that I have no idea what that means. So R1, Q1, P1, and N1. I'm assuming it goes with this, but it's for the certificate of registrar. This is to certify that pursuant to the rationing orders and regulations administered by the Office of Price Administration, an agency of the United States government, Harold E. Drybread, what a name, of 315 South 4th Street in Denver, Pennsylvania, Lancaster County. So we are in Denver, Pennsylvania, for all the Pennsylvanians, the Keystone Staters. And what I found interesting, because I had no idea, I've never seen one of these before. So it gives the information of the person who this ration book was provided for, but it also includes, I guess, so you couldn't sell it, or if it was stolen. It also said he was 5'6", 167 pounds. He had hazel eyes, black hair. He's 39 years old. He was male, and he's been issued the attached war ration stamps on the 4th day of May, 1942. And it was issued by him. He signed for it himself. And it was issued by Marion A. Betting, local board number, and then in the county of Lancaster in Pennsylvania. So you get the little registrar booklet and this little bonus set of stamps, which may or may not be related to this. It just came together. And then you actually have the book. So the book is different than that first one, because this one has all kinds of those. Okay, no question. Those stamps did come out of this. There's all kinds of these stamps. I have no idea how these were used.
And they're different designs.
Yeah. So it's like, this one is spare. Like, spare what? I have no idea how these are used. So, because the stamps in this one said, War Ration Stamp 20, these say like the PQ, the R8, R5, T1. They do have actually, now I look at it, they have different things on them. So
yeah,
the
I saw
pink,
the one had coffee.
yeah, so that one's got like a cornucopia thing on it. That one, it's holding a torch. Is that for electricity? So I don't know what that would be for.
That's interesting.
And then like that other one that I found, so that maybe that's wheat. Yeah, those kind of look like wheat sheets. Then let's see, that's cornucopia.
Okay, Beth is saying they're butter, sugar, and gasoline.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. And then I just saw, so the ones that say spare, I didn't see. There's other on the table. So the top ones say coffee. Then the middle ones say spare, and there's one left for sugar. And I know sugar was a big deal. So they used all their coupons for sugar. So maybe those wheat, yeah. So LJ saying flour. So maybe those wheat chests, that would be the flour. That would make sense. So these are a little bit different. Like I don't know what the spare would have been. So anyway, like we can analyze this. It's good to get information, but people know. So I didn't know what I guess, yeah, gasoline would have to be ration, but I'd never thought of it that way. So you get the War Ration Book number 4 issued to Harold Drybread. You get the War Book number 1, also to Harold Drybread, and it says right on the back, certificate of the book holder. And you get the little envelope that it comes in. So you get all of this for $10. So $10 for that set of ration books, World War II ration books. $10 by giving me number 63. $10, number 63 for the set of ration books from Pennsylvania.
Those are so cool. I know a lot of people are saying that their grandma had one, and my grandma does too somewhere.
Yeah, it's like, because you think it's not that long ago. I mean, my father was born in 1942. So these were issued that they definitely would have been, they could still be around.
And I see Melody's mini miscellaneous picking that up. Congrats, Melody.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much, Melody, for picking those up.
I do see some people lagging, so make sure that you do refresh and make sure to be in live chat, not top chat.
All right. So I've got, can't remember if I had something for this last night with you, Katie, but Katie likes her copper, and I have more copper. So this is a piece that I had never seen before, but some of you might recognize. It is issued by Pfaltzgraff. So there is a stamp on the back, and it says it is from the Village by Pfaltzgraff. So it has the Pfaltzgraff stamp or a logo on it. You can see at the top of the little diamond. I don't know what village, I couldn't figure out what actually that represents. If that's a line or if this was a location, like was this something that was offered at their factory center? So I don't know if anyone recognizes what Village by Pfaltzgraff meant, but it does have the little folk look to it. It's a little handled tray with the tulip and the birds and the scroll work all done as punch work into the copper. It's only about 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch tall. Unfortunately, it has, if I can figure it out. So this one, if I look at it from the side, you probably can tell this side you can see was kind of pushed in a little bit. It should be straight up and down like this one. It looks like, I mean, if I were to guess that this was sitting, like somebody had this on the floor, they stepped on it and kind of pushed it down. So it's still perfectly content on the top, and it still sits perfectly flat on a flat surface. So it doesn't impact the actual appearance or function of it, but it does have that little kind of crease there on the corner side. So I can't price it as if it's new, even though it functions as if it's new. I am pricing it as just a cool piece of copper, a copper tray that you can use for whatever purposes, including building a primitive style vignette on a copper tray. And you can have it for $15. So $15 for the copper tray by giving me number 67. $15, 67 for the copper Pfaltzgraff Village tray.
And Nate, of course, is saying it needs polishing.
Yep. Now, personally, like I I considered keeping it because I think it would look great with some of my copper collection here, but it's false graph, so I'm letting it go on to someone who might appreciate a false graph collection better than I do.
And that's a cool piece.
All right, the next piece is another pair of wall art. Came from the same place that the pebble art came from. And these are about the same size. They're also very lightweight, but I would also say these were produced. They are like marquetry pieces. So the pebble art had pieces of wood that were carved out kind of as accents for the pebbles. This entire piece is made out of a series of wood grained pieces. So you've got this great vase that's got the accents on it, all of the accent work, all of the stems, all of the leaves, and all the flowers. Those are all pieces of wood. So you've got a wood vase on that one, and then a complementary one here. We've got a little bit more striations in the vase on the bottom. And then you still have the wood petals, the wood leaves, everything is just different. And I don't know if these would be veneers, right, Katie?
Yes,
these are super thin.
That does look like a walnut veneer for the vase bottom and then some of the petals. Now the lighter color wood might be like a poplar veneer. I'm not entirely sure, but it's gorgeous.
And they're not technically inlaid because for the whoever just asked that, the background it's almost like a paper or like kind of a cardboard, and each of the pieces are cut out and applied to the top. So they're not flush set amongst other pieces of wood. They are just applied to that back surface. But considering its age, it's in absolutely perfect condition. Not even considering its age, it's in perfect condition. Like from what I can see, none of the veneers are missing. None of the petals have been missing. None of the flowers have anything missing from them. They're in great condition. We've got really the dark wood trim around the frames. They still have the original nails, that are holding the backing in place. And again, they are super lightweight. The two of these together, I don't even think are going to hit a pound. Might hit a pound once I put them in a box. So I will ship them as inexpensively as I can. Size-wise, they're obviously taller than they are wide. So that I've got to find a box that would fit. So it's like 13 1/4 inches tall and 6 3/4 inches across. So they'd actually fit into a shoebox if they do go priority mail. Otherwise, I have some other boxes I could use. So it is a pair of the wall art.
And Michelle's asking if it was a craft kit.
I am going to guess, to be perfectly honest, I'm going to guess that this was something that was produced, unless the wood came pre-cut, because it is very uniformly cut. And I don't think if you had to cut those out yourself, I don't see how you'd be able to do that. So unless it came pre-cut, which is possible, I assumed that this was something produced in more like as a design, decor item. Maybe it was a kit, but if it was a kit, those all would have had to have been pre-done, and then they're just putting them on. But I just think it's very uniformly done. Like if you look where the stems are crossing each other, I just don't see that a kit person would do it with that level of detail, in my opinion. But never seen them before. Couldn't find anything like them with Google Lens. So just basically treating these the same way I treated the pebble art. I just think they're cool decorative art pieces, mid-century modern, maybe toward the end of mid-century modern. And for the pair of them, it's $15. So $15 for the two wood pieces, veneer pieces, by giving me number 23. $15, number 23 for the veneer wall art. I've only got one item left.
And Leanne Say is picking up the copper tray, number 67. Congratulations, Leanne. And I see Nettie with a little pug picking up number 23, those fabulous wall art pieces.
And I will say, I'll give her credit. She had emailed me. It's Leanne C. So her last name is C.
Thank you.
Susan Way and Leanne C.
Okay, got it.
Because she did something creative with her. I think it's her email address or her website, something like Seashore. And so I'm like, okay, now I'll remember how to pronounce it because it's Leanne Sea, because it's the seashore. So I'm sorry, I got 2 items left. I already had one sitting in front of me. All right, so the next one, this actually was in my Instagram stories. So this one I picked up and decided to specifically put this into the live sale. It is a little mustard pot. It's in absolutely perfect condition, but it's a little, you can see how it's reflecting off of here. It's like a little luster, almost like a little lusterware pot. It's more green than is showing up on the screen. They're showing almost a little more blue on the screen. It is a very much like an emerald green in true color. That netting part is across the top and all the way around the edges. I do not think the netting is hand painted because there was an area that felt like it overlapped, like it was more of a transfer wear. And of course, now that I'm not seeing it, when I was looking at it earlier, I thought there was an area that just made it look like it wasn't. Well, you can make your own decisions. Like, it's very uniformly done, but I don't know if that would be hand painted or not. It does say on the bottom, it says it is hand painted, but I don't know if that's the entire design. I'm not 100% sure. So it is a made in Japan piece, hand painted. So I guess that should answer the question, that little lattice and netting stuff is hand done. So maybe with the part that I saw was just, they're trying to do it in a circle and it didn't quite line up the way it should have. But hey, that's what happens when you do hand piece. So you've got the little mustard pot, perfect condition, no chips, no cracks. The luster is only on the outside. The inside is glazed in the white, just like the bottom. So the only thing is it does not have the, damn it. Okay, it does not have the spoon. And as I was putting the lid back on, I grabbed it. There actually is a chip in the lid itself. You can see on this side how it kind of curves nicely down where the spoon would be received. That side arcs out more. There's a chip out of that piece. So I'm going to knock the price down. So it would have been 10. It's now going to be 6. So $6. So ignore the $10. $6 for, you don't see the chip. I had not noticed it. You do not see the chip when it's on display, but it is there. And if I had seen it, I wouldn't have bought it. So I will knock it down to $6. $6 for the lusterware by giving me number 85. $6.85 for the little lusterware mustard pot.
And that is just a gorgeous color. Just amazing.
Yeah, that's what really drew me to, is that greenish color is just so cool. And it's that color that we really don't come across very often. So I guess that blinded me from seeing the damage in the lid. So, all right. And the last piece that I actually have is another piece of ephemera. So this one is another item that I picked up during my trip to Pennsylvania. So it also has a Pennsylvania connection. It has, this is a pocket memorandum that is from Burdock Blood Bitters, which sounds slightly disturbing. It is a useful book.
Sounds like a cocktail.
So it's a useful book for everybody, presented by G.W. Hackenberger and Son, druggists in Bainbridge, Pennsylvania. So I don't know where Bainbridge is, but so it's this old school little paper book. Burdock Blood Bitters, got the building on it. But what I really liked about this is it's basically like a notebook. It has things in there. There's like ads for impure blood and indigestion. I was all out of health. Every organ seemed disordered, causing pain in my head, sour stomach, heartburn, palpitation of the heart, loss of appetite, constipation, and pains about the kidneys. And so it's like a little Huckster ad. But there's a little notebook that kind of goes along with this, and check it out. The notebook has recipes written into it. So whoever had this wrote, they used it. So there's a recipe for, I don't even know what that says.
Summer pie.
Oh, okay. I'm like brum pie. Like I have no idea what that's.
Well, yeah.
Crumb pie. I have no idea.
Crumb
So
pie.
6 cups of flour. This is a heavy pie. 2.5 cups of sugar and 1 cup of lard. You just don't see
Oh,
recipes
Lord.
called lard anymore. So you've got whatever the crumb pie is, surprise cake, jelly cake, drop cake, French cake, sponge cake, lemon pie, thick milk pies. Okay, one of the for the thick milk pies, that's the recipe in the middle. It actually calls for 6 cups of thick milk. What is that?
I don't know if that's like whole milk, like.
Well, back in those days, was there anything other than whole milk? I mean, when did they introduce the concept of 2%? So like this has a calendar in it dated 1891. This is a 19th century notebook. So this is a 19th century recipe. This is the page is February 1891. Wow. So you've got an antique, there's a little erasable memoranda, erase with clean, dry rubber. I'm just going to leave that alone.
Look at that electrical oil ad on the other side.
Yep. Dr. Thomas electric oil will cure neuralgia in 5 minutes, earache in 2 minutes, backache in 2 hours, lameness in 2 days, coughs in 20 minutes, hoarseness in an hour. So cure your cough. It's not going to cure your hoarseness. Colds in 24 hours, sore throat in 12 hours, deafness. It cures deafness in 2 days. It cures diphtheria. It cures croup, rheumatism. So there's just all kinds of fun stuff. There's like the domestic postage rates that are in there. It's just a cool little notebook. Dr. Fowler's extract of wild strawberry for summer complaint. Eclectic oil, dropsy, cancer. We have received some very flattering letters in regard to the cure of cancerous growths by burdock blood bitters. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I should keep this. This is like Huckster 101. So anyway, this is I bought it because of all the cool recipes. It's just a cool, very old piece. It's actually in pretty good condition, considering the age. It just has the flaps on the outside to kind of turn it into an envelope, but they don't tuck in. And then the notebook, but most of the notebooks are actually filled in with stuff. So get the whole thing for $6. So $6 for the 19th century memorandum notebook with the weird recipes with thick milk. $6 by Give Me number 21. $6 number 21 for the memorandum.
And people are saying that thick milk could be condensed milk or buttermilk, which does.
Oh, okay.
And I do want to announce that Karen Dondelinger got your last item.
Which was,
and I'm going back up.
you thinking I remember what that was?
I'm looking for Nate's note just to confirm here, but Nate did put that back in the chat.
Okay, I do. So 85 was the mustard pot. So that went to Karen Dondelinger at the reduced price that I gave of $6.
And I see number 21 going to Melody's Mini Miscellaneous. And yes, Karen Donnellinger did get the mustard pot. So congrats, Karen.
All right. I lost my note because I don't see. Okay. So, all right. So that was the last, I'm pretty sure that was the last thing that I had offered. So I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Did anyone take the powder?
No, the powder is still available.
Oh, I did put it up here. Okay. So the powder is still available. That was number 96, $8. So if anyone would like to add that, if you purchase anything. So 96, $8. That was for the new old stock face powder. Then you got the flower frog kit, the parrot plate, the Ponderosa plate, the Germany pie plate, the slide box, and the embroidery kit. So those are the things that are left over. So if anybody feels they already bought one of those items, let me know. You've got to scroll through what.
I do believe all of those are still available, and those flower frog pens are just awesome, pen type ones. So that is still available, folks.
Yeah, and so then I'll put the makeup. So that's pretty much it. So I really appreciate. I want to try and get done because in 4 minutes. At the top of this next hour, we will have Martha from Vintage Conversation. Is that right?
Yes. Vintage Conversation.
Vintage Conversation. So the Ponderosa plate was $6. So Vintage Conversation is having her sale right at the top of the hour. So 10 p.m. Eastern. So you can hop over onto her channel, Vintage Conversation. That's Martha. Unfortunately, if you had not heard, hey, Jamie, unfortunately, if you had not heard that Nancy is still unable to do her live sale. So she's typically was doing them at 11 p.m. Eastern. She unfortunately will not be doing her sale this evening. So unfortunately, that is not going to happen tonight, but hopefully she'll be back. She started physical therapy. So hopefully she'll be coming back, soon. I don't know the extent of her issues, but she's been off for a couple of weeks. So I'm sure she is anxious to get back as well. Katie just dropped the link to Vintage Conversation. So thank you so much for doing that, Katie. So people have one. Jamie, I'll go back to full screen. For those that came in late, if you want to see any of the things behind me, that's what didn't sell. Mid-century modern wise, well, the flower arranging kit. Actually, the 1962 slides. So depending on what you're looking for, Jamie. But appreciate everyone coming out. I appreciate people hanging out with the sale. I will, for the next couple of weeks, I'll still be having a sale. July is going to get a little crazy because I am in a performance and I will be on stage during the Thursday live sale slots. So we'll figure out what to do. Thanks again to Katie for joining me tonight and helping everything out. If you're not subscribed to Katie's channel, she puts out some great content. She has a lot of her stuff on Wednesday nights and then a few things during the week. Vintage and Vinyl is her channel. And, we always talk about Nate. We always thank Nate. We really appreciate Nate. Make sure you follow Nate. He does have a YouTube channel that's not particularly active, but he has a very good active Instagram channel with some amazingly well curated photographs. So he's got some great collections. Definitely follow Soul Nate on Instagram. You can follow Katie and I on Instagram as well. And again, appreciate everybody hanging out with us tonight. Appreciate you putting your trust in Trusty Huckster. And everybody have a great night. Talk to you later.
Bye, friends.
Bye, everybody. I thought I answered the question, Melody. The Ponderosa plate was $6. I thought I answered that for.
And I see someone else coming in and asking how much are the slides.
The slides were number 72, $8.
And those are really cool, folks.
Yeah, so the ones that were marked from Sears, those were all dated. What did I say? They were 62, I think. Yeah, September of 1962 were the 4 slides, including the Citroen car. All right, so if there's anything else you want, feel free to send me an email later. If you change your mind, you want to add anything. But thanks again for everyone joining me tonight. And enjoy the rest of your night. And have a great weekend coming up. Talk to you all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.